are just going to have to come along for the ride because I need a latte. I gotta entertain you guys for an hour, and if I must, I gotta have a latte. I need a lot of lattes. I hope everybody's having a great Thursday. We're going to get started on some stuff with Sebastian Rogers here in just a few moments of real up-to-date information about Sebastian. I hate when that light glares. There we go. See, so much better. Look at that. Just a little bit of lighting changes everything. It doesn't wash out my face anymore. So I hope everybody's having a great Thursday. I figured you guys love life with me, so I decided to come here and give you a little bit of life. And we're not doing a whole lot. I did want to let you guys know that this whole thing, this whole bit of not realizing Seth has a PI, he's had a PI ever since he fired those crackpots. And this is a legitimate PI, one that doesn't need the publicity, that does things behind the scenes and things like that. That's why I was raising money for him, because he's got ongoing expenses that nobody seems to realize. Like, there's really legit good private investigators out there in the world, and what we do for families is get them the right private investigators, not these hot mess expresses that have mommy and daddy issues from YouTube, okay? So we're doing that, and it upsets people, but you know what? This was not even a decision for me. Check this out. Before I ever even talked to Tony, the first time I've ever even communicated with the man, they had this PI. I've known about this PI from every single conversation that I've had with Tony. From the beginning, when I was talking about what was going on, you know, trying to navigate those waters. I was informed way up that there was a PI that's good at what she does, and is a just very low-key, behind-the-scenes type of PI, which most of them are. Jason Jensen, one of the very first PIs that I, got the privilege of speaking with related to a criminal case, was ultra stealth. I mean, he didn't want people knowing. I mean, he was very camera shy. They don't like cameras. This new breed of, whatever they call that. I don't know. Just ain't my cup of tea. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Here, I'll turn you guys around here so you can at least watch what I'm doing. You know? So I got finally some Starbucks espresso, and that is what we're using. I gotta tell you, the espresso, the Starbucks brand espresso, is by far the best espresso that I found. Even that bag, but that bag was cheap. I knew I was gonna get my money. I mean, it was not bad for $12 for over 2 pounds of freaking espresso beans that I ground, and I've got a grinder right here. See? Get it done. So I got a coffee grinder, so it didn't bother me. But either way, all right, guys, we'll get started in just a second. I already cleaned out my cup. I said I wasn't going to drink another cup of espresso today, and I lied to myself. And I'm almost like literally, I'm like at DEFCON 5. I'm out. I'm absolutely out. But yes, he's had a private investigator for some time. I mean, I understand that the investigative reporters on YouTube don't really know how to investigate SWAT, you know, but that's okay. I just thought, since somebody's trying to make a big deal out of nothing, there's been a private investigator that I personally have known about for some, well, might as well throw the rest of it in there, since the beginning of this Hot Mess Express case, you know, when it started taking a turn because somebody got hurt feelings. A grown-ass man got hurt feelings and decided to throw the biggest internet temper tantrum possible. And somehow managed to turn it into, it's all Betty's fault! Okay, I love that. I love that. Not everything can possibly be my fault. Not everything can possibly be my fault. I'm not even in the damn state, and I was accused of stalking. Some random person starts writing in comments in my chat saying I'm stalking the family. I'm like, you know, I'm like in Florida right? Like I'm physically in Florida. Like I can tell you, I mean, my computer can pretty much say where I've been the entire time and what I've researched, and it's hardly been anything about Chris or Katie. You know, if I run across the post, I run across the post. You know, I'm sitting here learning about the case just like everybody else. So I figured, what the heck. Since people want to keep going. Make sure it's spinning. Okay, it's spinning. I didn't realize that thing in there is a magnet, and so I started it one day, and I started all my my coffee and everything, and I went there, and the coffee wasn't foam, and I'm like, what's going on here? And apparently the magnet had gotten stuck. I didn't know it was a magnet. It's like it takes it out, so I took it out, and I took a toothbrush and cleaned it really good, and all that stuff. We want healthy beverages and Casa Bullhorn. Hi guys, it's nice to see you. I hope everybody's doing well. Hindsight, it's so nice to see you. Danielle, Shannon, B. Betty, yay! It's nice to see you, Misty, Lisa, Josh, Shannon, me and you, Sam. It's nice to see you, Josh. It must be difficult for Sebastian's family to keep working to find him when Seth continues lashing out at them in law enforcement. I think that's a very unfair statement to make, and I don't think anybody that has been watching this case from the beginning to the end actually believes that horseshit. Quite frankly, Josh, if you want to know my professional opinion, I think that you need to go back to the beginning. I think there's a lot of reasons, because I got to be honest with you, I'm pretty angry at them too. I would like to lash out at them too, quite frankly. And as a matter of fact, I think Ellie's about to get a tongue lashing from Bullhorn Betty at 8 o'clock tonight. Just saying. So I can kind of understand their frustration on all fronts. And so I think that your statement's very unfair. And I would go back and maybe point that finger and that hostility that we see in that post maybe at the right people like Katie and Christopher Proudfoot. And the Bauer Sox. While you're out there, you might as well throw some of the shade over their way too. You know what I'm saying? Just saying! Thanks for playing. It's nice to see you, Josh. I just made my daughter go grab me some Mountain Dew. I do sugar-free. I need to go to sugar-free. You know what's funny though, but I haven't really gained any weight. I've gained 0 weight, but I've been working literally around the clock from the time I get up. My sleep is all over the place, because when I wake up, I work. When I sleep, I sleep. So it doesn't really matter when I wake up and when I sleep, because no matter what, when I'm awake, I work. When I'm asleep, I sleep. And so it's been rough, but I keep forgetting to eat, and so I think that might be the reason that I actually haven't really gained any weight. But I know once this case is kind of back to normal, or my life is kind of back to normal a little bit, not so chaotic like with this, then I have a funny feeling I'm gonna still have the addiction to the lattes, and then I'll start eating, and then we're gonna have some problems. So I need to go ahead now and start making the conversion over to sugar-free. Everything else I drink is 0 calorie. I don't drink anything with calories. It's the one thing, because I drink so much. I don't know why, but I've always been like that. I've always had to have something to drink. It doesn't matter whether it's coffee, soda, water. I have to have always a drink with me at all times. I think my mouth I don't know if it has anything to do with, like, maybe I have dry mouth or something. I just don't realize that's what it is. I don't know. But either way, it is what it is. So it's nice to see you, Stormy. Hello. We're covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, the 15-year-old kid that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And so we've had, it's been kind of calm. It's been nice that everybody, outside of one specific collaborator liking to, bow up and want to beat something. I ain't threatening nobody. Honey, you got no threat. You're threatening people. I just want to throw that out there. Ain't nobody threatening you or your community. You are. So, and everybody saw it. So I don't want to hear no, I'm a victim BS. You are not a victim. You threatened somebody. You're nothing more than the criminals that you're protecting. Just saying. But we had, you know, outside that group, it's been, you know, it's been pretty calm. You know, Chris is staying with, or has faith, and it seems to be calm on their front. We've got Seth and Tony. They've been, you know, dealing with more national media. So things have been, you know, a little more calm on that front. And so everything is just calming down, finally calming down. And then it's like, boom, here we go again. And I already know that it's got to be trash, bash and trash, bash and trash, bash and trash. So I decided to come over here and make it about Sebastian. Make it about Sebastian because I'm sick and tired of it being bash and trash and everybody saying that's avocation for Sebastian. That's not avocation for Sebastian. Sebastian deserves better from us, from the people here. And we are just not giving, we're letting our petty personality BS interfere with a case, and not just interfere with a case, but interfere with a case on a very epic level to the point it's absolutely disrupting the detectives on this case. And that's where we're at, and nobody seems to care about that. Everybody seems to say, oh, we care, we care. Well, the fighting is now disrupting law enforcement. Do you still care? Are you going to still keep continuing to go down this road? It absolutely is. I would say call, but no, I don't want you to call. As a matter of fact, I want you guys to do just the opposite. If you do not have any relevant information about Sebastian or the case at hand or the suspects, persons of interest, or potential persons of interest, I ask that you do not call law enforcement. I gotta say, this is getting absolutely, utterly insane and ridiculous. And there are a few bad actors and a Facebook group doing it. And that doesn't have anything to do with personality BS on my part. Is there some there? There absolutely is. But I ain't making them do all of this. Just FYI. They're doing it all on their own. And they're wanting me to, because of these personalities, have to sit down and shut up. Because, oh my gosh, it's because of the personality problems. No, it is not. There's bad information being peddled by somebody that touts himself as an investigative journalist. Down to Katie's family. All of that nonsense that was being peddled about Katie's family, did things happen? Yes. Did things happen the way that they were said they were happened? No. Was it easily accessible to the people that were peddling it? Yes. Is it part of public records? Yes. Is this particular content creator known for being an expert in public records? Yes. How can he make such a foolish and careless mistake? I don't know. How did he make such a foolish and careless mistake when it came to Tony's background? I don't know. People are literally mad at Tony because they think he's a felon because of the garbage they pulled. They did. He had a couple bounced checks. That was to the extent, and that was like 20 years ago or longer. That was to the extent of that man's background. Do you know that? I bet you didn't know that, did you? I bet you still think he's some type of felon trying to get into the pocket of Seth because of all the bad stuff that you guys have heard. And couldn't be further from this truth. Is there a PI in this case? Yes. There has been a PI in this case from out the gate. I think one of the reasons, now I don't know, I'm not coming from personal knowledge and I have not asked this. This is totally my assumption and I don't know if it's true and might be told it's completely wrong. But it would be my assumption that the old PIs kind of probably went out as the new PIs were coming in, if you get my drift. But you probably didn't know it because the PIs that are in now are PIs that know how to keep their mouths shut and tell Seth, their client, the information, and only Seth, their client, the information. Kind of like an ethical PI is supposed to act. Funny about that, huh? Just saying. Just saying. And then we are getting down to the nitty gritty when it comes to law enforcement. You know, a lot of people, especially from guys, I gotta tell you, I get a lot. When we first started this, we got a lot more emails about people's opinion of their local law enforcement in that area. At that time, of course, I was trying to get critical information about a missing boy. So I was passing off all those comments and emails at first because it was a fluid situation and there was a 15-year-old boy. I can always come back to them and read them later type of situation. And so now we're kind of full circle and people are starting to write again. You know, they're starting to write and they're starting to tell me that there is a hint of good old boys and corruption in their community. And I gotta say, you know, I know that there's gotta be, and of course we can pull political donors and stuff like that. I'm not really too interested in that aspect of this yet. And there's a reason why. And I know people don't understand it, but I have my own reason why that I can't really say at this point. But I kind of just feel that even if this wasn't being taken seriously then, it's being taken seriously now, and I don't think the political aspect of it is necessarily accurate. You know, I think that they may have some political ties. Yes, I'm not disputing that, but the necessary political ties to pull off something like this, no, I do not. I've been around a lot of corruption in my days. And do I think that there were some issues with the training of law enforcement in a case like this and how they handled this? Yes, I absolutely do. But I haven't. Now, it doesn't mean that that's off the table. I'm not saying that they haven't done corruption or have been corrupt in the past. I'm just saying so far in this particular case, I'm not seeing that, and with donation laws, there would only be so much money that family could technically donate to them. It wouldn't be millions of dollars. The only way they would be able to do like huge, large type of donations like that are to their PACs or to a nonprofit that particular politician has, which is typically how they move these large funds around anyways. So those would be the two aspects, and those are the two aspects that I probably wouldn't be able to have access to, but those would be the ones that you would want to look at more so than the political donors. We can see who she is associated with just by her Facebook page. I mean, we already know the associations, and we know that what the political contribution caps are, so we know what the worst case scenario is on a political contribution realm. So it's not something that it's really worth looking into. I can, even if I assume that yes, she did make political contributions even at the max percentage or the max dollar amount, what does that mean? Not a whole lot. It just means she supports one donor or one politician over the other. That politician is not going to have pool necessary to overtake TBI and law enforcement, in my opinion. In a case like this, they're not getting their hands dirty like that. There's a lot of things they'll get their hands dirty over, but covering a parent's butt for unaliving their child's not one of those things that I don't think any law enforcement would get their hands, or politician would get their hands dirty in. I mean, we have some dirty politicians, especially ones that, you know, we've seen pretty bad ones that harm children and all that other stuff, but unless we can find something like that there, which I haven't seen or even sniffed about, it's going to be hard. Is Josh still in here? If Josh gets too annoying, if Josh is playing nice and just vocalizing his opinion and doing it respectfully, then ignore Josh. And if he gets too annoying for you, just hit his little circle and block him. And you won't have to ever see anything that comes from him again. And when he gets under my skin, I block him and nobody has to worry about him. So far he hasn't gotten under my skin too awfully bad. But we're getting into the definitions of what, they have a whole package here. And I know some people, I don't know if you guys have seen it or have not seen it, but it's definitely something you guys might want to inform yourself. This is, if you ever have family or friends, or you're an advocate of any type for missing and exploited children, you're going to want to have this pamphlet, this booklet on you at all times, or at least a copy on your cell phone as well as your computer. Because whenever you reach out to a family, you're going to want to give them a copy of this. This really does give them an idea of what to expect. It gives them a kind of a breakdown of law enforcement's procedure, but it also gives them like things that they could be doing as well, like, making a list of certain things, I have to assume that many of our missing kids, the parents aren't responsible, okay? The kid ran away, there's custody issues, there's a number or a whole host of, foster child and, biological parent issues. We see a lot of those things coming there, but they're not acting to, in many of those cases, to injure the child. They're usually, like, especially the custody ones, it's because they, in many cases, miss their children. And in some of those cases, not even miss their children, just don't want that other SOB to have them, right? We got some of those people too, right? So, but in those scenarios, we know that the outcome of the children are going to be, pretty much safe. Okay, there's not, but there are times that the parent is. The custody is taken away from the parent because of abuse and other horrible things, and those become dangerous situations, very, very dangerous situations. But for a lot of our kids, they are truly runaways, and that's what makes it difficult for law enforcement, because if you have, say, 1,200 runaway children in your community, we'll just say a year. That's 100 children per month. I think 100 children per, just to give us round numbers to work with here. So we have 100 children per month that are missing, and say that maybe 2 of those out of the 1,200, 2 of those aren't found or aren't deemed runaways. That it may be. They will, it puts pressure because, everything costs money. Law enforcement equipment, testing, all the stuff that they're required to have for courts and stuff like that is very expensive stuff. And of course, those expenses are put onto the taxpayer. The taxpayer has to pay taxes, which are rationed out amongst the departments to purchase all these number of supplies with the budget that they have for that year. So that, it gets a little hairy when we start putting in regulations that require all of them to be treated as the missing, as an abducted child. You see that now we're having 1,200 forensic teams having to go in, 100 a month. That's like 3 a day. I mean, you're talking about major expenses that go into laws. So you got to be careful when crafting laws to make it not only palatable for the public, but also cost conscientious. And I really think that there needs to be like like forensics need to be done within, I know we want to say within 48 hours, but there might be some cases where it's not necessary, and because of the law, they're being forced to do and waste money because of the way a law is written. So we want to be careful about that as well. But I feel like when it comes to Sumner County, we've got some problems here, because everything that I am reading, they're saying that you want to have all your forensics done within the first 3 months of cases, missing person cases. And it's scary to me. And since, and I always put this out to my audience, because I feel like it's easier to get things answered from, say, a reporter when their audience, which also, partly my audience as well, reaches out to them, because it gives them an opportunity to speak directly with their audience. And it also helps answer some questions for me. Maybe something that y'all could do is reach out to, Nick, and maybe ask him if he can start questioning law enforcement on whether forensics have been done in that house yet. Because according to all the standards that I have been reading across this country, it seems like they do have this kind of unwritten rule that everything really, when you're dealing with missing person, you should have forensics done within the first 3 months of that missing person. And as you know, we're 114, 150. I don't even, I've lost count of how many days we are in on the Sebastian Rogers case, but it's been a lengthy and long time. And, you know, I think that maybe we might want to consider talking to Nick Barris about approaching Eric Craddock and seeing if Eric Craddock would be willing to at least tell us yes or no on the forensics. We don't need to know where or what was forensically tested, just that the process was started and or completed. You know, that might be really, really helpful, at least, because even with me, it's like, you know, when I'm going down there, like for St. Jude's and just looking at their locking mechanisms and stuff like that, it's not for me to have the knowledge of what, you know, to go up there and try to get the key card swipes or something like that. It's just to let me know that law enforcement has the information. And if they have the information, I'm comforted with that. So it's like, you know, maybe just them answering whether they've done the forensic testing or not, it kind of comforts me just a little bit to know yes or no. You know, but I feel like the only reason why they would not answer the question at this point is if they still have not done it. And if they still have not done it, then I have to say that not every freaking stone is being turned over. That boy's room should have been forensically tested, at minimum. Let's see what Josh is saying. Good gracious. Please don't annoy me today. Today's not the day. I see some channels are being harsh towards you. I personally think you're pretty cool and really good at what you do. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I enjoy watching the few interviews Sebastian's mom has done. It's so refreshing to see her overwhelming love for him. Quite a stark contrast with the constant incoherent Absolutely disagree. I think Seth is more upset, Josh, quite frankly. I think it's harder to form sentences on questions when you're not rehearsing them in your head all day. And when you're doing nothing but thinking of your child, or having to go for your first Father's Day without hearing your child or seeing your child. I can't imagine that. If you truly are a Josh and you truly are a man, and I don't know whether you have children or not, but you need to put yourself in that shoes and see, like, how could you? It makes me wonder how Chris and Katie can handle all of this so well, quite frankly. So I think your lens is it needs to be cleaned a little bit, Josh. I'm just saying. Ellie doesn't need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to questions others like Bauer socks. What does it say? Ellie doesn't need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to questions others like the Bauer socks. No. They don't. Well, the only time they need to prove, I mean, everything up until trial is probable cause, which is like the lowest level of scrutiny. You know, they still have to build the case, and it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt, so to speak. But, and I know that wasn't your statement, but I just wanted to make sure that we were very clear on that. Everything from affidavits or subpoenas to warrants and stuff like that, those are probable cause. That's a very low threshold to have to overcome to get those things, and to get those things pushed through. Yeah, please point me to any interview Katie has shown any love for Sebastian. Yeah, I haven't even seen her cry. The only time I heard her sound like she was crying was on the March 3rd interview with that one content creator that I will not name anymore. After I heard what I heard her say about Olivia. She doesn't deserve a plug on my channel ever. Turn the page. It's been too long. Yes, it has. I went out and gave my thumbs up. Oh, yes. Thank you, Miss Moore. Yes, we have 218 people in chat right now. If you guys would go out and give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Come back in, tell us your number, where you're from, and what the temperature is in your area. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. My daughter was 12 when she was taken by dad. She's 16 now. Her dad's girlfriend is a special ed teacher in Arizona and was part of taking my youngest from us here in is that MA is that Massachusetts or Maine? Maine is ME, so I think that's Massachusetts. Okay. I wish I could afford a PI and go through legal stuff. The Hug Stealer PIs are freaking expensive. They really are. Especially when they come out of their office, it's even more expensive. Like, it's even more expensive. So it's you know, and that's what I didn't understand about the other PIs. It's like they're in the woods. It's like if I was hired as a PI on this case, the woods would be the furthest thing I would be in. I would be monitoring two people and two people's movements to help identify locations. Like, that would be like my only focus when I was out there. The furthest thing, if I was a hired PI in that case, the furthest thing I would be in the woods searching. That's what searchers are for. It was the most asinine, stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. They also have going through like the model, the pre-incident planning and resource development. They go through the model of missing children's policy in this whole book, and we also have some laws, the federal laws, that indicate what policies should be done. They talk about cordoning off the bedroom, making sure nobody can go into the bedroom until forensics are done. If they left that bedroom and they never did forensics, they dropped the ball. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They dropped the ball. We're going to be diving into that a little bit, just a little bit. I don't know how deep we're going to go into the conversation about the federal. I'd like to look at the Tennessee laws, but the Tennessee laws kind of have to at least have the basis of federal law, at least my understanding. I might be wholly wrong about that as well, but I have to go back and review it. But I'm pretty sure that's the case. Give me just a second. I'm pretty sure that's the case. All right. Anything over 50 is too hot. It's like I don't even. What is the temperature here? You look at see what Bradenton temperature is. Bradenton temperature. 91. That's not. It's cooler today. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of rain. It's going to cool down next week. It looks like we have rain Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But it looks like it's cooling down. It looks like today at 3 it should get up to 92 degrees, and then it starts dropping back down. Tonight at 8 it'll be 86. But it starts dropping the day temperature all next week, so we're not going to have direct sun, so it'll be like 89 degrees, but it'll be kind of overcast and How about the mother and father can't leave to anywhere? Betty, you need to take us to the beach. Oh, you know what? I guess we could take a ride out to the beach. I'd want to do it like, you know what? We could probably do it tonight or tomorrow for sunset, because the sunset hits the west coast, and that's where I'm at. Rises in the east, sets in the west. So actually that might be nice. We could probably go out there and watch the sunset over the water. I don't know, that would be kind of cool. I need to get a new beach chair, and obviously if I'm bringing you guys with me, I'm gonna have to get like a little beach table. It better be collapsible and fold upable. We're finally warming up in Washington. Oh, good gracious. That's cold up there. Start getting into Washington, like Idaho. Idaho's cold too. Idaho's cold. I remember, gosh, I don't know what it was. I remember that first day I got there and I got out of the car and I forgot my gloves. And I remember my fingertips hurt so bad. I mean, I don't recall feeling it. It's a pain. There's nothing you can do about it. They were so cold. They just ached and ached and ached and ached. They were just awful. They were just awful. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Sebastian Rogers' case. I'm just, every day that he's not found, I feel like it's going to be harder and harder to find him. I just feel like, you know, the stuff I'm hearing, it's just hard. I don't know. It's just hard. Like, you know, people have been pointing to Horn Lake and stuff. I need to find out what Chris was doing. I need to find out where he was. That's all if I can find out where he was during that 17 hours, that's what I need to find out. We need to find out where he was that 17 hours. I really feel like that's going to be the key. That's the critical area. I don't know why I feel, well, I do know why I feel about that, why I feel that way. It's because it's freaking a 17-hour window. I know exactly why I feel that way. So I need to find out what he was doing in there. I do not believe he was you know, doing his camper stuff. There's just no way. I just don't believe it. I don't believe the camper was the reason for it. The camper, literally, it takes less than an hour, a camper like that, to clean up your surrounding areas, unless you were cooking steak on a charcoal grill, literally 2 hours before, which he hadn't been there for days, so there should have been nothing hot. There's nothing there that couldn't have been packed up and put in the center, closed up, hitched up, and headed back. You're talking about needing to get there, get in, get out. What would possibly take that long? I feel more and more like the people involved made sure Sebastian will ever be found, and C told us so told us so out of his own mouth. Yeah. He did. He made that comment. Said Sebastian will never be found. Sebastian will never be found. So but some of this stuff, you know, the military, we got to remember the appetite of military personnel. I mean, not that they like, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that because they're military, they enjoy doing certain things or anything like that. I'm just saying they have a stronger appetite for the stuff. Oh, did Misty gift memberships too? I don't know. I just saw the $5, but that's okay. Thank you so much. That's okay. I think B Betty. You got the wrong tag, B Betty. Does anyone? I thought I missed something. I didn't want to be rude. Does anyone know if KP is religious? That's an interesting question, Anna. I personally don't know. I've never seen them at the. I haven't seen them at church or heard them outside of Chris saying something about a church. Never even heard them whisper church. Seth is certainly making it more difficult for law enforcement. Right. Okay, that's making it difficult. So you think the talking head representing Chris and Katie threatening me didn't just complicate law enforcement? You didn't think that just caused problems? And fake leads? What fake leads? I'd like to know. There is no fake leads unless it is fabricated information. And the only way that he would have a fake lead is if he fabricated it, and I don't think that's the case. I think it's stupid idiots on social media fabricating this stuff and posting it thinking they want to be cool. Because there's certain creators out there that are giving them a pat on the back and giving them the card to say, hey, go do the craziest crap you can do. We need news. At the expense of a 15-year-old boy. So those things, it's not up to us to decide whether those things are from trolls or not. Those have to be turned in. Even when we believe that they are 100% a freaking troll. And you know what happens then? Law enforcement has to stop work. So why are you blaming Seth for that? Seth's going to turn in any lead to law enforcement because they are the investigative body, not him. So the only way he would get a fake lead is if somebody passed him intentionally a fake lead. Any other lead is just a lead. They either pan out or they don't. See how you are driving a narrative in my chat, and I'm letting you do it because I want to point these things out, because I think you're trying to compliment me to distract me, right? And then you're coming in here and filling my chat with a bunch of bunk information that I can absolutely tell is absolutely not true. So I'm now going to ask you, for every post you say hereafter, to put IMO in front of it. Okay? IMO. That means in my opinion, because this is your opinion. Says, was certain that the picture a random boy outside of a hotel was Sebastian. Desperate father, hopeful. Can't see that at all. You seem like a really heartless asshole, Josh. Like one that I definitely wouldn't want as a father or a mother. I'm just saying. I just think you're a very heartless individual. Maybe your mommy and daddy didn't teach you. Maybe they didn't give you enough attention. Maybe your mommy didn't keep you on her tit long enough. You know, I'm not quite sure what the real issue is, but it seems like you're more angry with mommy and daddy issues than you really are with Seth. Do you have mommy and daddy problems? I'm actually, I'm serious. Why? Why do they have to, why can't I pick on them? Tulips, it's not fair. I'm allowed to have a little fun too. Seth's aspiration, mudslinging. I'm mudslinging. Why don't you come attack me? Why are you attacking an innocent father? At the benefit of guilty parents. Guilty! Like, I think Katie, her kid, and you're in my chat, like, patting him on the back? And trashing a father? An innocent father? While helping guilty ones? It's kind of making me kind of sick to my stomach. It's kind of making me sick to my stomach. Sorry. I'll let that one pass. See. Lori, I can't post that. I'm sorry. I would love to. I'd love to. I thought that was great. You deserve to be posted. You deserve to be posted. You can put peanuts in there next time and we'll know what you're talking about. We'll let that one pass. Just saying. Just saying. We'll let that one pass. Yeah, we're definitely not Proudfoot supporters in the least. I've given them every opportunity to come here and speak to me. I've laid out a very damaging why I feel that they have a lot of explaining to do. And instead of coming here and talking to me, they decided to have their talking heads threaten me with bodily injury instead, or try to deter me from going to Tennessee. I'm going to Tennessee. And I'm going to make sure I take all the necessary precautions possible to make sure I'm safe. But I am going to go to Tennessee, and if I see Katie or Chris, or I see the other two content creators anywhere near me visually, I will take that as them acting on the threats that were given to me. And I will have to take care of that with law enforcement. Okay? So, I mean, they can go ahead and bow up and act like real hard on their channels and stuff like that. I don't need to do that. I'm a little girl, right? I'm just a tiny little thing. I ain't trying to threaten nobody. But I know how to protect myself. And I will be going there. I'll be filing a complaint as soon as I hit there. I'll take an hour of my time to go fill out an affidavit against these people for threatening me. And if I see them again, then that is action. That's all I need. I just need to see them again. So hopefully I don't see them the entire trip. And if I do, and they continue down this, then maybe they do need to sit behind jail. Seems like they don't care. She says she's been to jail before. I've never heard of somebody advocating against crime while trying to commit crime. I think that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But you know what? Like I said, these are idiots with a microphone. Thank you. I tried to believe it listening to that channel earlier just to hear what they were saying. She's so vulgar. And like, you can tell she's ignorant. She has no education just by the way she talks. Like, and she thinks she's competition to me. Baby, you ain't competition to me. You like 18 floors down. You in the basement. Actually, you below the basement. I was going to say you in the cellar, but you below the cellar. You in the basement, baby. Like, you know, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I hope to God that she changes her ways because she looks like a piece of crap. But you know what? We already know she's ghetto. We already know why she's protecting Chris and Katie. Like I said, there's an element of criminals here on the streets of YouTube. There's an element of a lot of criminals that back criminals. And I always watch the parents and what channels they go to. Do they go to the criminal channels that back criminals, or do they go to the channels that want to help? And when I start seeing people gravitate to these trash channels and hate channels, the proof's already in the pudding. The proof's already in the pudding. You done, son. I'm sorry. They went to channels that protect the bad guys, y'all. You know it. You guys watch it. You guys see what channels they are on. You see it. Those are not channels that care about the victims at all. As a matter of fact, they constantly always gravitate to the suspects and criminals of these cases and try to say, oh, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. Oh, we need more evidence than this. Oh my God, I can't believe the community's attacking them. Right? You see it all the time, right? Well, we're over here with the innocent folks saying, you know what? You guys are trash. And then what do? They start talking about our girl parts. They start making fun. They got nothing. Why? Because they're ghetto people with no education. And you know what? You see it every time they flap those gums. Or the rolls. Haven't figured out. They seem like some pretty big bitches with a lot of freaking big mouths. So why don't you guys get yourself some exercise, get your asses up, get out there in the freaking woods and look for this boy instead of running those gators. Just saying. Go do something impactful instead of being trash. That would be my first go-to. But we know once trash, always trash. So you guys just stay there, okay? Let the professionals deal with it. Let the people that know how to get out in those woods and go out and look. Stay at home on your with your emoji. Oh my God, yes, can you believe her? Oh my God, we can't let you see our face. We can't let you see our face, guys. We might scare you off with how ugly we are. You know, and missing teeth and stuff and still got the crack pipe hanging out of our mouths. We don't want you to see us, but man, we've got some dirt on Betty. We got some dirt on Betty. You guys stick around for this. You're not going to believe this. Oh my God, can you believe what she said? Oh, sorry guys, I just dropped my piece of crack. Right? Hit it and quit it, baby. Hit it and quit it. So there we have it. I'm kind of over the crap. We're on the right track. Obviously, we're getting threatened over here. Hopefully it dies down, but I don't think it will because we got King Roach, which finally calmed down. I thought he must not be getting enough clicks and views. You know, he's a camera hog. He always has been. We used to call him the what do we call him? Like the click core? I can't remember what we used to call him. It's been so long back in the day, but boy, he used to jump in front of that camera quick. So I know why he's jumping back on the Sebastian bandwagon, because he can't say nothing nice because he'd have to admit he's wrong, which he would never do, right? And so his numbers have been tanking because nobody's interested in anything but him bashing Seth. Seems pretty odd. Seems like he crossed over to the Roach side and the trash and hate side, if you ask me. I don't know about you, but we used to know what he used to be and what he is today, and I'm telling you, it's a totally different man we're seeing. Just saying. Just saying. So I guess I'll find out if he trashed him, but I didn't even listen to it. I didn't listen to it. I just came over here and decided to open up a live and tune it out for a little while and have a latte, a lot of lattes and kick it with you guys in case you guys didn't feel like listening to Seth get bashed again. I figured I'd have a therapy session where we could all have group therapy here so we didn't have to listen to it. Listen to the garbage coming out of a wannabe investigative reporter. I mean, he really effed up on Katie Proudfoot's story too for being an investigative journalist. To be honest with you, I don't even think I have it. I think it's in a different spot. I'll have to read it and digest it, but he screwed everything up. He had no information. I mean, he had very, very limited information about Katie's background because he was too busy trying to run and get the click and the view that he didn't even bother taking the time to actually find out who's what and who's who. He got uncles and fathers mixed up with each other and stuff like that because, I mean, he's such an amazing investigative reporter that he can't figure this stuff out, you know, intentionally. Oh, I mean, unintentionally. No, intentionally. No, intentionally. He's a guru in public records, yet he keeps making these public record mistakes and misidentifying people with the public records. Never did that before. It's kind of funny. It just all of a sudden started happening on the Sebastian Roger case, don't you think? Seems really, really suspect. But this is the time he seems to always keep dropping that ball on getting the right people that he's peddling information out about. So, I don't know. I think this is all intentional. I think the bashing of Tony based on a record that didn't even belong to him was intentional. I believe that these new allegations about the allegations about Seth and Katie and how old she was intentional. They knew better, and they knew it wasn't true. The allegations that he was abusive and everything in those court records, the court findings didn't hold up. He was not founded. That none of those allegations were ever founded in a court of law. But they didn't care about that. And you're talking about well-to-do investigative reporters that specialize in public records, but manage to get all the public records wrong. It seems a little intentional to me. These don't sound like mistakes. I can tell you 100% they were not mistakes. And everybody is mad at this man over lies. And it's sad. And those lies are still being peddled, and they're so big now that nobody will believe the truth. Because of one individual getting his feelings hurt and throwing a temper tantrum and taking the whole true crime community with him. They're idiots. Idiots. Everything was intentional. All this bad information that was out was intentional. It was intentionally submitted. It was intentionally cooked up. It was intentional for the story and the narrative that they wanted to paint. And that's why every time they bring in more crap, I'm calling it out because I'm so sick of the intentional mistakes. Just saying. It's all a distraction trying to get us to stop investigating them. It's obvious they're trying to get us to drawn into their BS. Yeah. Well, it's not stopping me. I'm going out there and I'm investigating. Anybody that freaking intrudes in my space, harasses me of any kind, prevents me from moving, which is, could be constitute kidnapping. Don't stop me from moving. I will make sure that somebody is arrested. I'm going there with the laws in hand. I will make sure that whatever happens to me is an arrestable offense. And it will be recorded and they'll have no choice. I do not play with my safety. I just want to be very, very clear with everybody out there that wants to get a little froggy. I do not play with my safety at all. That's the one thing I will not play. They're trying to stop Terry. Well, all I gotta say is they don't want to stop me. Because I will make those officers arrest the person. And people are like, oh, you can't do that. The hell I can't. I will throw the biggest freaking fit right there. If I can yell somebody out of jail, believe me, I can yell them in jail. Because I know the law. And I'll have the law next to me. And I will go through it that this is an arrestable offense. I will bring their bosses out there. I will bring somebody out there. You're not going to intimidate me. You're not going to threaten me. And if you have action behind that, you deserve to go to jail. Period. I don't engage with criminals. And everybody's sending me prayers for my, like, how do you think that makes me feel? That my audience has to worry about me? My audience should not have to worry about my safety when I'm going into a community to search for a boy. That is some sick stuff. That is some sick stuff. All right, guys, I think that's really all I had. I just wanted to come here and shoot the shit while Seth was getting completely... I didn't even watch it, but I know, we already know what's going to come out. Anything that comes from that channel is just to bash Seth. If I go there and he actually had something nice to say, I would be absolutely surprised. But I'm absolutely 100% that everything that came out of his mouth was a freaking lie. Again, to thousands of people. He just doesn't have any shame. He doesn't care. And one day, we're working on it. One day. Believe that. God bless. See you soon.